from the Daily Mail. It's a silly nonsense story that represents, I think, the problem of modern politics and falling into the trap that Democrats actually want Republicans to fall into. AOC is accused of hypocrisy after she attacked J.D. Vance for manspreading on Seat, despite being photographed doing the same herself.
I saw that.
So it's a funny story, right? AOC posts, so there's J.D. Vance, he's on the Full Send podcast, and she responds with, "Why are you sitting like that?" Someone then posted a photo of her sitting in much the same way.
See?
Why?
Well, traditionally, women are taught to cross their legs, don't sit with your crotch open.
Keep your knees together.
Keep your knees together. That whole kind of thing. But
and this became an attack against men for sitting with their legs open. And
but I mean, there's a reason why we do that, because the way that God designed us. And I mean, maybe she's not accustomed to the kind of men who sit like that. Maybe there's a reason why. She's dealing with some soft, weak, effeminate, broken men. But that's how men sit. I mean, come on. I'm sitting like that right now on the Tim Pool show.
Why are you sitting like that?
Because
I don't need an answer.
Because I'm a man, and that's how men sit.
But here's my point. AOC decides to go the weird route.
Right.
They want to play this game weird. And she makes this post. Instantly, the right responds. Every time. And I always say this, stop making the news cycle what they choose the news cycle to be. Stop making the narrative of the story what they want it to be. And I'm not saying Republicans always follow the Democrats, but they tend to. Often Republicans will set the news cycle themselves, pissing the Democrats off. But in this instance, the response should be to AOC, is this what you're concerned about?
Right.
When inflation has outpaced wages for how long? Please. And you know what you need to say to AOC? You say, please, you're a member of Congress. Can you focus on wages and stop tweeting about a man's junk?
Right, and she can't. I mean, she is just representing what I think is going to be the main strategy of the Harris campaign, which is to be a middle school mean girl. She might as well have said, like, why are you wearing that tie?
Oh my God, did you know that if you wear green on Thursdays, that means you're gay?
Oh my
this is why.
Exactly. Like, it's so ridiculous. And
that
again,
was my middle school.
It has nothing to do with anything he's saying. It's to subvert to the fact that it has to be an attack on his physical appearance.
And look at what he's talking about. He's talking about sex changes for minors.
And this is her response.
And her response is, you're sitting wrong.
And the response on the right is, oh, you're sitting wrong too.
Right.
It should, I literally just be like, AOC, I don't know why he's sitting like that, but is there anything you can do about the fact that inflation has outpaced wages? I mean, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the president. I know that the Congress is slightly Republican, but can't you do anything and then let them answer? Instead, it's, oh, look how you sit. I don't know. Look, man. With Tim Walz going up on stage, saying nothing, Kamala Harris saying nothing, and watching them all cheer for people offering nothing, and then seeing on social media the response from people on the right is to just respond with the nothing, but like, oh yeah, we're weird, you're weird. Oh, you think Trump was bad? Well, you were bad. And I'm like, how about we just say Donald Trump wants to secure our borders, unleash American energy. This is part of Agenda 47. We want cheaper energy costs. We'll make it easier for you to drive to and from work. We want to make sure that you can actually have 2 weeks of vacation, earn a better living. Inflation will be reduced. Wages will be increased. You will live a better life. These are the things we're fighting for. How are we doing it? We want less foreign intervention. We want less spending on wars like in Ukraine and in Israel. And in many other places, with the Red Sea, Iran, all of these things, we want to spend less money there. That means more money for the American people. That means less inflation. And that means we're going to see more jobs focusing on the American people. With a secure border, it means there will be more availability of jobs. With better trade agreements, it means you're going to stop seeing outsourcing of jobs to foreign countries. All of those things are clearly outlined in Agenda 47. And that's what people should be saying. I have people saying, I tweeted very derisively at Democrats that they were, and I'll keep it academic for the show instead of tweeting what I actually said, X-posting, whatever. They are cognitively deficient people of ill repute. That's how I will say it on the show, because I said it much more harshly on X. And many people are like, yeah, but you can still convince some of these people to come around. I'm like, you will convince a moderate American who doesn't really pay attention, who doesn't know what's going on, by telling them, well, with the hundreds of billions we've sent to Ukraine, that's driving up inflation. It's the result of you're getting military-industrial complex manufacturing of weapons we don't need to be used in a theater of war that doesn't affect us. That's for some reason Ukraine. Most people can't even point to on a map. Why aren't our tax dollars, and to be honest, the modern monetary policies that produce wealth, why aren't they being applied to school teachers? Why aren't they being applied to infrastructure, to bridges, to roads? Why aren't we securing our border to make sure that the jobs come for our children first? And by all means, we want immigration, but it's got to be done legally, right? You tell a regular person who doesn't pay attention to that, and they're like, oh, I agree with you. It'd be like, okay, well, check out Agenda 47. Just read that. But if you go to them and you say AOC spread her legs, they're going to be like, huh? Because, look, Democrats want the argument to be J.D. Vance spread his legs, AOC spread her legs. Because then you're not convincing anybody. Then Democrats, or I should say...
always answering.
Default liberals who are emotional are not hearing anything other than, if I am, then so are you, or whatever. If you, whatever.
Sure.
So how about, instead of arguing, when they say J.D. Vance is weird, you go, AOC's weird. And then you get a default lib being like, I don't know, everyone's weird, I guess. You say, oh, J.D. Vance may be weird. Well, his policy will make your gas cheaper. Then they'll be like, okay, well, that's fine, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think it should be, the response should always to be go back to messaging, because again, this is something that the Harris campaign does not have. They do not have a platform out, and she basically serves up a long-winded filibuster whenever asked a direct question. I think that it's a mistake to try and, it doesn't bother me when people online will be like, they say J.D. Vance is weird, but you're the party of drag queens and changing kids' gender or whatever. But I do think that ultimately the response should always be to go back to what they can do to serve the American people, because Kamala Harris can't say any of that. Waltz can't say any of that. And it would just be better, because by the end of it, people will be able to say, well, this is what the Trump-Vance campaign is promising, and I actually don't know what the Harris-Waltz campaign is promising, because all they did was talk about the other side constantly.
Yeah, no one knows what she stands
I
for
think
or what they want.
Them especially, the Harris-Waltz campaign doesn't know what they stand for.
I just opened Twitter right now, and what do I see? Tim Walz put tampons in the boys' room. And I'm like, okay, I guess. But I feel like things like that, regular people don't understand. They don't understand. The books, I get. You show someone that book, and you can really make them start questioning what they're being told.
Sure.
When Bill Maher was presented when Dennis Prager presented the tampons in the men's room to Bill Maher, he just went, get out. He said, that's for their girlfriends. Get out of here. And Dennis Prager could not get through to him, because Bill Maher has no idea what you're talking about. But if Dennis Prager, sitting with Bill Maher, said, and this is, the previous administration, but let's say right now, you're having a conversation with a liberal and you said, did you know that inflation under the Biden administration, Biden-Kamala, has been higher than wages? So people have actually been losing the ability to buy products.
Wow.
Fact check that. And then what's the response? Okay, so what should we do? Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you this. Kamala Harris, 4 more years of the same policy ain't going to be good for the American people. We can start there. If you want to argue that doesn't mean Trump is the right choice for the president, I'm fine with that. But you got to tell me what you want from Kamala Harris. And the answer is they don't have an answer.
Right. Liz Wheeler had a post today on X about how the murder rate has gone up dramatically in Minnesota under Walz. And I think that's sort of what we should go back to.
They defunded police in Minneapolis.
Defunded police. And the thing is, what are the problems facing American voters? And that's why I think the Trump campaign did so well, especially in the first debate, being like, we are going to talk about the economy, we are going to talk about immigration and the effects of that, both culturally and the crime rate, because these are things that people talk about at their kitchen table. They need to be able to safely send their kids out into the world, and they also need to be able to bring home food and resources to raise their families. If this is the issue, that's all we should talk about. I don't want to hear, you did this or you sat wrong or you whatever. I want to hear how you're going to fix these issues. And I think, again, the campaign that's formed in the last 2 weeks for Kamala Harris is really about being on the offense, but not on offense meaning they are proactively trying to solve solutions for American people. It's just trying to attack and bring down the other side. And I think Americans are honestly sick of that. They have real issues.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about, I saw this video on TikTok a while ago where a dad was showing the groceries. He's like, I got 2 little girls. Here's the groceries that I just bought. He's like, $100 and something bucks barely covers our meals for the week.
Right.
3-4 years ago, it was way more than this. That guy, you assume there's a lot of people like that. Middle of the road, suburban, especially suburban women. That's what they're thinking about. I think if Republicans focus on that, My attitude is this. If I were to do a debate with someone like Kamala Harris and then she said something like, they're just plain weird, I'd just be like, I don't know what that means, guys. I'm tired. And I mean this genuinely. I literally mean it. I'm tired. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they want to do. Can we just get cheaper gas? Can we just get your electric bill down? Can we get your water bill down? Can we increase your wages? Can we find better jobs? Can we create opportunity for your family? Can we just fix these things? I don't know what it means to be weird. I just want this country to be better for everybody because I want my family to live better. I want my friends to live better. I want everybody listening to live better. And all I hear from Democrats, from Kamala Harris, from Joe Biden is garbled nonsense. Joe Biden says he cured the economy. I don't know what that means. People are suffering. The economy is not going well for people right now. Food is through the roof, and it's just inflation has been terrible. Now the jobs report comes out, things get bad, and the market crashes. Call me weird. I don't care. I just want the market to improve for people's 401ks and for their kids to be able to go to school and for people to eat bread.
Me and my friend today, we were swapping photos of receipts, like literally. She was like, this is what I had to spend for my 2 oldest for school. And I was like, well, I just got the one, but this is what I had to spend. And then we started comparing grocery bills. And I was like, she has 4 kids and I have 1. But
is she in New York or?
No, she's in Texas. But we were talking about it and we were just going back and forth and we were like horrified at these prices.
You're probably doing this too. You've got 3 kids.
Yeah, I am. And when you look at the grocery bill, when you look at the cost of school supplies and you look at those things, you say to yourself, man, the products haven't changed. Mm-hmm. Wood is wood, paper is paper.
Might even be worse.
Exactly.
Right.
But
now it's made out of plastic bottles instead of cotton.
True. It's evident that, sometimes we can get into the weeds. I've been guilty of that myself because when you're fighting someone that's looking at you and calling you insane, but you can look at them and see, no, you are crazy. You are insane yourself. It's natural to want to retaliate, Maybe we should do more of turning the other cheek, but you're so right. When we get back to the issues, they can't defend their record.
And I think the attitude is more like the successful attitude is more exasperation than indignation. I feel like, when I talk to my friends and family and they say things like, well, Trump did this. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm honestly super tired of your guy is weirder than our guy and all that stuff. All I can tell you is 2019 was great. I mean, wages were going great. Unemployment was way down. People were making money. I remember I tell the story when we were setting up the first studio for Timcast IRL. I went to a Bob's Discount Furniture because we needed a table and we needed chairs. And the saleswoman said, I have never made more money in my life. She was so happy. She's like, this year has been a windfall for me. It's been incredible. And I'm like, I'm glad to hear it. I was like, I'm able to come in here and buy all this furniture for our new show because my show's been successful and we're expanding. And she's like, isn't it great? Then we get a landscaper. We get a guy to do, I don't know if landscaper is the right word, but he was laying concrete and a contractor. And I'm talking to him and he's like, I got to tell you, man, 2019 was the best year for my business I've ever had in my life. He's like, we got more jobs. We hired a bunch of people. And I'm like, this is awesome. Little did we know what was going to happen in a couple of months. Yes. I don't blame Trump for COVID. I don't blame Joe Biden for COVID. We can criticize individual policies that they did during the COVID lockdowns, and we can criticize the governors during this time. But I'm just going to shrug and say, I don't know, it's a pandemic. What I can tell you is Donald Trump was weighted down in his first term with being accused of being a Russian spy and all this nonsense, and we still had a great economy. Still had great. And then as soon as Joe Biden gets in, mind you, COVID, I'll say fine, but we're 2024 right now, and things are bad. There's no excuse at this point, 4 years from COVID. And we're talking nearly 4 years. We're almost 4 years into the Biden-Kamala administration, the Biden-Harris, and we've only seen things get worse economically for people. At this point, I think it's fair to say, by year 3, Trump had improved the economy dramatically for most people, and by year 3, the Biden-Harris administration hasn't done much at all in this regard, and we're wondering where the answers are. So I think it's fine when we get involved in culture war issues. I do all the time. Sure. Those are fine. I'm just saying when Tim Walz goes up on stage and says, J.D. Vance is weird and he's on the couch, and everyone starts saying, you're weird, you're on the couch. I'm just like, dude, just ask them where wages are. Right. This is not they're on stage advocating for votes. Ask them where gas prices are. Ask them where energy prices are. Kamala Harris's website has no policies on it. I really just want to know what she wants to do. You know what I mean? Give me a reason to actually defend Kamala Harris. They don't have one. They don't. They say Trump is a crackpot or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, if you put on your website, if Kamala Harris had on her website that she wanted to get rid of ATM fees, overdraft fees for working class people, I'd say, well, she's right about that, because I defended Joe Biden on that one. I think overdraft fees exploit poor Americans. I think they're stupid. And there's challenges there, I get it, but I could at least, they've given me nothing to agree with. So I hope she's a throwaway candidate, because Agenda 47 is an actual plan that Trump has laid out for how he wants to improve the economy and make America better. So I'm just, after I watched, I've been ready for this rant, because after I watched Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on that stage, I was just drained, like my soul had been ripped from my body.
It was awful to watch.
I'm just like, I'm so tired of this. And then the response on social media was this culture war fervor of calling Kamala weird and tampon Tim and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just want to know how I'm going to pay the bills. I want to know how eggs are going to go down, how bacon's going to go down, how milk is going to go down, or at the very least, wages are going to go up. That's what I want to know. Mm-hmm. And so we don't need to tweet. Look, people, don't listen to me. Tweet whatever you want to tweet at whoever you want to tweet about. I'm just tired of nothing. I'm tired of them not offering anything. I know Trump is, and I wish there were other candidates that were offering more. The Libertarian Party ain't offering anything.
Nope.
RFK Jr., he's got a strong advocacy in environmental toxins. I can appreciate that. He's kind of a wacky dude, but he sounds fun. So I don't know, whatever.
To your point, the U.S. Home Price Index has gone up 47% since Joe Biden's inauguration. And rent prices nationwide have risen 26%. Under Trump, the average mortgage rate was 2.7%, but under Joe Biden, it's 7.22%.
Yeah.
And so people are hurting.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.